All right, Algebra 2 class yesterday, I left you with some homework to just review slope-intercept form from Algebra 1 and then reintroduce point-slope form, given a point, hk, and the slope m. And what we figured out, I gave some hints in class, but every single one of these problems we have to calculate what the slope is. In the case of 1a here, I'm going to put the difference in the y values up top, 10 minus 4. Difference in the x values in the bottom, 0 minus 2. That's going to give me 6 over negative 2, or a slope of negative 3. And as I suggested, use slope-intercept form on this particular problem because they gave us the y-intercept. So we just calculated the m, we knew the b. The equation for 1a is negative 3x plus 10. Starting part B, I'm given 2 points. Let me first calculate the slope, difference in the y values in the numerator. I know some of you may have reversed these calculations, but in the end we should wind up with the same thing once we divide out negatives and whatnot. So 5 minus 6 and negative 1 minus negative 3 is negative 1 plus 3, which is going to put me at 2. So the slope of this line is negative 1/2. I asked you to use the point, point slope form with the point negative 1 and 5. So y is equal to, we put in our slope, negative 1/2. Open parentheses, x minus negative 1. I'm going to stop off right now and make that an x plus 1. X minus h plus k plus 5 at the end. You don't have to go through and distribute it to get it to y equals mx plus b. You can leave it right there. Again, in C, we're actually given that when we plug in 0 for x, we get negative 3, which gives us the y-intercept. So I'm going to use slope-intercept form. Difference in the y values for my slope, negative 3 minus 15 over 0 minus 5. That's putting me at, I'm out of the space I needed, negative 18 over 5. Oh yeah, I remember over negative. I remember in class people saying that there was a decimal slope, a slope that worked out to be 3.6. Yep, that was exactly it, 3.6 positive. We have the b, there's our m. So y equals 3.6x minus 3. That y-intercept was a negative number. Part D, calculate the slope. I'm going to put the 2,000 out front, just thinking about how to avoid some negatives here. 2,000 minus 800, 30 minus 10. So that's going to put me at 1,200 over 30 minus 10 is 20. The slope is 600. And I asked you to use the point 10 and 800 in point slope form, so we all wind up with the same thing. Y is equal to that slope of 600. I'm going to open parentheses. X minus 10, X minus H, and then in the end plus 800. End up right there. Last but not least, linear function, x-intercept, y-intercept. We have our b values. So let's just find our slope. 0 minus negative 2, 0 minus negative 2, negative 10 minus 0. So that's going to give me a minus and negative is going to be a positive 2 over negative 10. So I'm going to reduce that. That's going to be negative 1/5 or negative 0.2 if you used a calculator and put it as a decimal. Again, negative 1/5 would be equal to that. Y equals mx plus b. So last but not least, y is negative 1/5 x, or negative 0.2x minus 2. That should help as we move into our next section of Algebra 2.